Hey everyone, so welcome to the Banh Chronicles podcast. My name is Randy Kim and I'm your host. So I am bringing back a familiar guest. Her name is Tranna Wintour, and I have been a big fan of Tranna for quite some time now, starting from when she was a guest on the MLVC podcast, which is the Madonna Luis Veronica Ciccone, uh, which is short for that name. And I have always loved her takes on Madonna, especially more recently with her Instagram Tranna Wintour, where she shares some of her current perspectives and whether they're popular or unpopular takes. And Tranna has also, has been a comedian. She's an internet and TV personality. She hails from Montreal, Canada. And I just want to say, well, welcome back to the show. How are you feeling about the recent Madonna teaser for the Confessions 2 album and her Coachella appearance?
Well, hello, and thanks for having me back. This is a pleasure. I mean, I want to be really excited, but there's a lot that I am really excited about. Like, I love the direction that this whole project is going into. I really am enjoying. I feel so free. Like, I don't think it's like mind blowing, but I
Mhm,
really enjoy it. Like, I've been listening to it on repeat. Like, I'm vibing with it.
mhm,
But I feel like I'm keeping my expectations low.
mhm,
Maybe just because I don't want to be disappointed
mhm.
because this is such a big project and it's her first album in like what, almost 7
7 years.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm keeping my expectations in check, but so far, like it's looking good. I think it's looking a lot better than Madam X.
Hmm.
And like I had mixed feelings about the Coachella thing. Like, I hate to say it, but like Madonna's just not the same person anymore. And it's
Hmm.
not an age thing necessarily, because I saw Tina Turner on her farewell tour when she was 69 years old, which is
Yeah.
2 years older than Madonna is now.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
Tina was still herself.
Hmm.
And like, and I'm not saying that Madonna has to move in the same way that she used to move. But Tina still had this power, this force within her.
Hmm.
And I don't feel that power from Madonna on stage
Hmm.
anymore. Like I feel like, when I watched her at Coachella, like it was fine. It wasn't bad.
Hmm.
But I'm like, she doesn't have that command anymore.
Hmm. Would
That
you say,
energy is kind of
hmm,
gone. It's like I
hmm,
almost don't even want to say it out loud because it kind of breaks my heart to admit
yeah.
that?
Yeah, I kind of see it from a different angle, but also I felt like with the celebration tour that was like a few years ago, I was very happy that she was finally starting to embrace her legacy, which she has avoided time and time again. I mean, I would go to
Yes.
concerts and I'm like, Madame X tour being one of them, like, why am I hearing Portuguese cover in the middle of the night? Like, this is not this is not ideal for an evening to
Yeah.
be listening to Madonna where I don't like where people don't recognize most of her songs except her hardcore fans. And I'm like, okay, this is not doing anything. You're making people stay up till midnight to you for you to get on stage
Yeah.
and then just kind of leave very underwhelmed. And so like I felt with Celebration, there was life, even though her dancing was significantly slowing down. I mean, I think
Yeah,
that
no, I
was
loved the Celebration tour and
yeah.
I felt that power on the
Mhm.
Celebration tour. Like I felt it, like when she you know, came on the stage opening with Nothing Really Matters. Like I remember I went 2 nights the first night. I mean, I
Mhm.
think I cried both nights, but that first night, it was like the
Mhm.
first time in a really long time that I had seen her on stage. Because I've basically been to every tour since Reinvention except Madam
Mhm.
X.
Mhm.
So it had been like, a while since the last time I had seen her.
Mhm.
And I felt that power at the Celebration tour. But I did not feel it watching this Coachella performance. Like
Mhm.
I don't know. Like again, I don't want to
Mhm.
veer into like guessing what's going on with her, but
Right.
like she doesn't seem very mentally present. There's something off. Like I don't know if it's some sort of substance abuse thing, like or
Oh
I
boy.
don't know if maybe it is just strictly age. I don't know, but she doesn't feel all there to me.
Mm. You know,
And
it's
maybe I'm wrong and I'm happy if people are experiencing it differently, but
yeah.
I don't know, there's something, I don't know. To me, she's just not the same person anymore.
Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying too, but also like I mean, I look at Mariah Carey now.
Oh,
She
Mariah, it's the same thing, but
worse, actually.
it's
Yeah.
even worse. Yes, I
Yeah.
agree that it's even worse,
Uh-huh.
but like there is, when I saw Mariah at the Olympics, which was
Hmm.
like really sad to watch.
Hmm.
And I agree that that was worse than the Coachella performance, but there are
Yeah.
similarities.
Hmm.
And I mean, I suspect that like Mariah's very heavily medicated and again,
Hmm.
like I don't want to speculate on these people's like medical conditions, like who am
Right.
I to speak on that? But
Right.
all to say is just that there's something off. There's something not
Yeah.
fully clicking, like even Cher, for example, like
Hmm.
Cher is almost 10 years older than Madonna, and
Hmm.
like, her movements have become stiffer and her voice is not exactly
Hmm.
what it used to be, but
Yeah.
her energy and presence are still there. She's still
Mhm.
Cher.
Yeah.
This
I
this
think
doesn't feel like Madonna to me. Like there are glimpses of
yeah.
Madonna, the
Yeah.
Madonna that I
Mm.
know and really was attached to for so long. And I still love her, don't get me wrong.
Hmm.
And like her music still occupies an enormous space in my life, and she's still the artist that I listen to the
Hmm.
most, and
Hmm.
her music means and will always mean so much to me.
Yeah.
But I feel like I guess I'm just making peace with where she's at, and I'm just
Hmm.
trying to meet her where she is instead of like having expectations based on her immaculate
Hmm.
career.
Yeah, I think the reason why I felt more refreshed by it was I think the last 10, 12 years since the Super Bowl halftime performance in 2012, I felt like she was trying so hard to chase after young people. Like she was trying to compete with the Lady Gagas and
Yeah.
Miley Cyrus, and I felt like this is very cringy to watch, I mean,
Yes.
and I felt like what are you doing, Madonna? Like you are a trendsetter. You do not need to get their validation. Like they need to come to you.
Exactly.
So,
Yes.
and I felt like with the Coachella performance, I felt like she came out and she looked beautiful, and I felt like she came in on Sabrina's stage and with Sabrina's blessing instead
Hmm.
of having her take over the stage. And but I also felt that Madonna was probably very insecure because I did see a lot of nervousness,
Yes, exactly.
which is very
That's not
interesting.
Madonna.
No, it isn't because from the first note, like yes, it was great to see her coming out, and but the way she was kind of moving, it felt like
And
she
that's the
kind of
thing,
needed to
it's
be
like,
guided
but
where
you
to go.
you hit the nail on the head. It's a confidence thing because again, to me, it has nothing to do with her age. It has nothing to do with her
No.
ability, her physical ability. She could literally be in a wheelchair and still
Hmm.
possess that magic. But that lack of confidence, like the magic is in that confidence.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
in that it's when she is connected and aligned
Hmm.
to her power, and it didn't feel that way to me.
Hmm.
And like, I don't know if it was something going on in her monitor, but like
Hmm.
her lip syncing was always like a second off.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
like, I'm like, this is, I mean, it's not as bad as that infamous Maluma performance a few years ago,
Mm.
but the thing that you're talking about, like from the sort of halftime Super Bowl show, and those years afterwards, like chasing this sort of mainstream relevance and like trying to appeal to a younger audience when it's just so unnecessary. Like, I kind
Hmm.
of feel like she's still doing that, you know?
Mm.
Like, I
Yeah.
agree, like, she looked beautiful, although I'm not crazy about the styling. Like,
Hmm.
I'm tired of her always being in some form of lingerie. Like, I feel like for the last 5 years, we only see her in lingerie, and I'm like, this is a woman with a lot of
Sometimes without it.
style.
Sometimes without it too. If you
But I want to see, like, I love when sometimes, like, I
Mhm.
remember, I don't know if she was in Paris, but like sometimes there was videos of her wearing these like oversized jeans and like these big
Yeah.
jackets. I'm like, I
Hmm.
love that. I'm like,
Hmm.
lean into some style. Like, I don't want to, I'm tired of the lingerie.
Yeah. I mean, and also what I think it's very interesting because when we see the Coachella performance, we see like the people with their camera phones.
Oh God,
It was very dystopian too. It's just I'm kind of like
very.
what is going on? I'm like I'm guilty of like recording, but I
But
also
also
have like a
just
30-second limit. Mhm.
the lack of enthusiasm for this legend that is on stage.
Yes,
Like,
that's
I'm
a
sorry, she's like basically one of
uh-huh.
three living legends who are still alive. It's like this
Yes.
people, you guys got to wake up. Like,
I blame that on Gen X parents for not doing the job of like raising their kids. 'Cause I'm like y'all were raised on Madonna. Like how can you not get away from her during MTV? Like
Exactly.
this is your job to be like teaching them, you know? Like
It is, but it's also
yes.
like I just feel like it's kind of impossible just because the
Yeah,
culture has changed so much and like these
true.
kids are on their phone and they're only being fed what the algorithm shows them, and if they don't have the curiosity to go beyond the algorithm, they're not going
Yeah,
to find it. Whereas like when
yeah,
we were growing up, we were kind of like not forced, but like we were kind of shown everything because there was no other option. It was like
right.
you had to sit and listen to the radio or watch
Hmm.
MTV for like an hour just to watch the one thing you wanted to see. And in that time, you were being exposed to so much. You know, like when I was 12, I knew who Barbara Streisand was. I
Hmm.
knew who Bette Midler was. Like, but it's
Hmm.
because like I used to watch Entertainment Tonight every
Hmm.
night and like you just would learn about things, but now it's like there's not that sort of natural learning. It's
Hmm.
unless you're
True.
seeking it out, like you're not gonna know about it, and that's kind of depressing.
Mm.
It's I think the depressing thing is not the way that media operates, although there is an element of that. I think what's sad is just that the kids don't have curiosity. They're
Hmm.
not curious about the past. They're not curious about the things that came before them, and I find that alarming.
Yeah. Although I will say, like, I think maybe the devil's advocate is I have seen some cracks in the foundation, like where I'm starting to see, like, actually, I have a good friend who's a diehard Madonna fan. His son, who is also a queer person, who's like, I believe, like a freshman in college, is a diehard Madonna, diehard Celine Dion fan, and it's like
Okay.
and Janet
I know
Jackson
there
fan,
are some.
and I'm like, yay! And also, like, there's certain people that want the physical media because that
Yes.
generation has like they want the vinyl, they want to get the cassettes and the CDs because they want to feel something because they
Yes, I
feel
have
like yeah.
noticed that too. Yeah, like
So
I'm a
yeah.
big like I love like physical media. So
Hmm.
like I go thrifting a lot like for CDs and vinyl, and I've been noticing like everywhere I go now there's so many like people that are like 25 and under
Hmm.
that are like shopping for the same stuff, and I love seeing that. Like that makes me
Hmm.
happy.
Yeah, so I want to get into what I think is the top 10 underappreciated, underrated Madonna hits songs. Now, some of these songs have been big hits before in the past, but have kind of been forgotten over time. Some have been kind of like a deep cut or two. So it's like I want to be more contextual about like, okay, these are some of the songs that I think about. I mean, does it change? I mean, to find 10 Madonna songs that are underrated or the best Madonna song is a gargantuan task. I think it took me
Yeah.
quite a while. I think by the time I scheduled this interview with you, it was like weeks in advance, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be a challenge that I'm not that I'm going to have to take on. So yeah, so this is what I came up with. So I want to get your reaction. I have for number 10, Intervention from the American Life album. Um, I love the American Life album. I think that album is severely underappreciated because of what happened with the Iraq War and her having to cancel out the American Life music video, which I thought was as painful and traumatic as it is a work of art.
Yes, it
And I
is.
felt like that was a missed opportunity. And unfortunately, because that did not take off, the rest of the album didn't, and that was a shame. And I thought Intervention one of those was one of those songs that I felt like she didn't really spend enough time playing live, and I felt like this is like one of her best mid-tempo ballads.
It's such a good song. I love it too. I mean, she did it on the Reinvention tour, so at least
Hmm.
it got some light shone on
Hmm.
it. I also love this song. I agree with you about American Life. I
Hmm.
think it's a really great album. That album probably has like the most concentrated amount of like underrated gems. I think of
Hmm.
also Ecstatic Process,
Hmm.
which to me is like one of Madonna's most beautiful songs, and it's like probably her most stripped down song. Like it's this really rough acoustic guitar
Hmm.
and just her vocals, and it's so beautiful. But yeah, Intervention is a great choice. I think it's a great song. That whole album I think is really worth visiting. It's
Hmm.
interesting, like I agree with you about the video, but I also wonder like there's a part of me that thinks that even if the video had gotten released, like,
Mhm.
I don't know if the album would have been such a success because it's such a
Yeah.
strange album. Like,
Hmm.
music sort of introduced this idea of like her doing folk tronica, and it
Hmm.
really worked. But like I feel like American Life took it one step further and it became even a bit more avant-garde and
Hmm.
like kind of harder to access like for a
Hmm.
mainstream audience.
Hmm.
So I don't know if there's any scenario where the album would have done really well just because I feel like it's not super mainstream. Like it's
Hmm.
really like the production is
Yeah.
so strange but really interesting, you know? But usually
Hmm.
the strange, interesting stuff doesn't tend to connect with like a mainstream audience.
Yeah. And I think that really hits to a good point there
Like
because
even the single,
Mhm.
like even though the video was great, like American Life is a weird ass song. Like
It
I
is.
love it, but it is
Mhm.
a weird ass song.
And also, I think that around that time, and I think she was already doing this for a while, like, she was like going into her motherhood. She was stripping away from the sexuality that was kind of like
Hmm.
very much dominant in the 80s and a good part of the 90s. And so I felt like she was trying to put the reset. And I think after that album, I think she's realizing, okay, I don't think my audience really wants that, which
Yeah.
obviously led to Confessions, which basically turned the script upside down. And
Yes.
so I think that when I think of intervention, I think of it as like a spiritual cleanse. And this is what I've noted down. Like the ending of that song, especially in the last 30 seconds, where it's just the guitar and the drums, and it's just
Yeah.
it's it's very cathartic. And I feel like I just love the way it ends. And that's something that really feels like it gives me a bit of a lift and probably one of my favorite ballads on that album. I mean, I could pick Easy Ride, I could pick a bunch of others on that and I'd be fine. Um, so the next one, number nine, Bedtime Story from the Bedtime Stories album in '94. Now, this was a song that was written by Bjork, Nelly Hooper, and Marius DeVries. It was also like in a way a precursor to Ray of Light years later if you like notice the sound and
Hmm.
the direction she was going in musically. And Madonna was a big fan of Bjork's debut album, and I'm a big Bjork fan myself. And but not surprisingly, Bjork was not a fan of Madonna's music. And I think in an MTV interview, she was like, "Well, I don't really know her. This was a gift to Nelly Hooper." And but she also like wrote it based on what she always wanted to hear Madonna say, which
Hmm.
I think that's very interesting because, Bjork is a very esoteric, very cerebral,
Yeah.
she goes into abstracts in ways that Madonna doesn't perfect, So I feel
Yeah.
like Madonna tries to go there, but Bjork has always been in this direction. And I think,
Well, in a
yeah.
way, like hearing you talk about like describing Bjork that way, like I think American Life is like Madonna's
Mhm.
most esoteric and like
Mhm.
most like, you know, avant-garde album in that sense. And it's interesting, like the connection between Bjork because for the American Life album artwork, she used
Mhm.
MM Paris, which are the guys who do all of Bjork's like graphic design and art
Mhm.
direction. So like there's a connection there.
Mhm. And this is a song that peaked at number 42 on the Billboard Top 100, which was a considered a disappointment at the time because it was the first song to not hit the top 40 since the beginning of her career. So I
Hmm.
think the reason why it was because it was too considered really out there. It was very experimental.
Yeah.
Music video was very iconic and also really one of the most expensive videos ever. So I think when you hear that song, it's like, okay, is this a song that you can really dance to at a club? Is this a
Well, you can dance
song?
to the
I
remixes.
mean,
The remixes
yes.
are so good. I love the remixes.
Yeah, and I just love the futuristic vibe of. I mean, that video is such a trip, and I feel like it doesn't get enough love. I think it has
Yeah.
always been forgotten, even though I do think the music video itself is probably one of the best Madonna music videos ever. Dare I
Yeah,
say
well,
it? Hmm.
well, not just one of her best videos, like one of the best videos,
Hmm.
period, of any artist. It's incredible, that video. It's stunning. It still holds up. It's still mesmerizing. And I agree with everything you've said. Like, it's one of my favorites too. Like, I love the song So much. I even like spent way too much money on getting the 12-inch single that has the like
Mm,
metallic holographic cover. Like I'm so obsessed with everything related to this release. I
hmm.
love the remixes. I was so happy she did it on the Celebration tour
Yes.
because like you said, like it deserves to have some attention and I love that she gave it some attention and I think the performance of it on the Celebration tour where she's like on top of this
Hmm.
giant video cube was sort of like reminiscent of the video and the sort of like surreal aesthetic of the video and the futurism of it all. Like it was one of the highlights of the tour for me. And she also did it as a video interlude on Reinvention. So like,
Hmm.
I think it's safe to say that this is a song that she herself loves a lot and feels is underrated too.
Mm. Yeah, and I think the album itself tends to get slept on quite a bit. And I think it's probably like one of her least played. Um, I mean, she doesn't really play a lot of her songs from that album in concerts.
Well, with the exception of Human Nature, which she's
Human
maybe
Nature,
done
yes, yes.
too many times.
Yeah. Although Human Nature is really one of my favorite Madonna songs, um, there were times I'm like, okay, you really don't need to put this one out there, you know?
No,
Um,
exactly, because
yeah.
it's like, a Madonna tour is really special, and because
Mhm.
her catalog is so enormous,
Yes.
it's like you want every tour to highlight different songs. So like
Yes.
when she does Human Nature on like 5 tours back to back, it's
It's like,
like, come
okay, we
on.
get the point. And also
We get the
like,
point.
yeah,
Exactly. Like,
and
how about bringing in,
Candy Shop.
like, well, don't even get me started on that.
I have to admit, okay, a hot take would be like, as much as I cringe looking at Candy Shop on the set list, I'm like, it actually sounds really good live. And
I
I'm like,
know. I'm not
okay,
gonna lie. It
it
does work
does.
live,
It does work live, but I would never
but
listen
at the
to it on an
same
album, no.
time, no. At the same time, like, please give us something else.
Which brings me to a song that she has never played live, which I'm still extremely angry about to this day. Rescue Me from the Immaculate
Hmm.
Collection. This is a song that, again, she has never played live. She was about to tease that for the Man X tour, but instead we just got like a spoken word interlude, and that was it. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you were teasing this. Acknowledged that that song hasn't been played live, and I'm thinking that this was going to be a highlight of Man X, but no. And I've still kept a grudge on that. You know, like I haven't let go of it because I think it's such a powerful song. The spoken word, um, the spoken word, um, um, take that she does with the song is also like on par with Justify My Love, which is also on the Immaculate Collection around
Hmm.
that same time. So it really fits into this specific window that she was really kind of going into, which would lead to Erotica, which is
Yeah.
more like a half singy, half spoken word in a way. I think also very avant-garde in some of its way when it comes to house music um and a different pop landscape that she was
Yeah.
traversing in. Um, but yeah, this song did peak at number nine. No music video, surprisingly, no live promotion of it. I just think about the Gospel House sound, which harkens back to like a prayer, you know. And
Yeah.
yeah, what are your thoughts on Rescue Me?
Well, I love it too. One of my favorites as well. I wonder, like, sometimes I'm amazed at some of these songs that actually charted so high, but they were
Hmm.
like never really played on the radio. Like, I don't think
Hmm.
I've ever heard Rescue Me on the radio once in my
No,
life.
no, me neither.
And I don't think it's a song that non-fans have ever heard of. So it's so interesting that it managed to still peak at number nine despite like being kind of invisible. But yeah, I mean, she loves a spoken word moment. I mean, even on I Feel So Free, like there's kind of a
Hmm.
return to this sort of form for her. So like to me, I Feel So Free feels very much in line with Rescue Me and Justify My Love and Erotica. And I mean, there are so many non-singles that also feature spoken word like Waiting and Secret
Hmm.
Garden.
Hmm.
And she has a great speaking voice. And
Hmm.
there are so many songs like that will feature even just like spoken word, like little bits, little moments. So like I love a Madonna spoken word moment. She has such a
Yes,
sexy voice. I just love her speaking voice a
me
lot.
too. Me too.
It's like powerful and not everyone can pull that off.
Yeah, it's very cheeky too, and it's very
Yes,
seductive.
it's very seductive.
I can't get enough of it. I mean, I could like quote. Truth or Dare any time of the week, because I love that film.
Yeah,
I love the way she gets very um pl like toys with reporters and the way
yes,
she like really gets into her moment or when she gets into her Dita, her alter ego during the
yeah,
erotica days. I mean, I think that that really speaks to the mystique and the aura that she's trying to create, and I think it really
definitely.
works.
It
It really
really
works.
works. And it creates a kind of intimacy, the spoken word,
Hmm.
like it's yeah, it draws you in. And I would also say Rescue Me also has amazing remixes.
Hmm.
And very fortunately, most of Madonna's maxi singles are on streaming, so people can go and listen to all of these remixes. And I mean I've always loved remixes, but Rescue Me especially has some really good remixes.
Mm. Yeah, it's another really good. I know you're a big fan of ballads. Next one for number
Yes, I
seven,
am.
Live to Tell, from the True Blue album. This was done in 1985, I think, right before True Blue came out. And this was for the soundtrack that her then husband Sean Penn was in at close range. And personally, I think this is easily her best ballad. It is very haunting. It is very confessional. It's probably one of her first major ballads, if I'm not mistaken. And this kind of like represented a different turn in her career because like the first 2 or 3 years, she was this boy toy. She had this Betty Boop type of voice, very
Hmm.
bubbly. But in this song, it was you could feel the emotional depth. You could hear her voice changing, evolving, which in a way kind of sets the precedent for how her voice would sound after that, because you're not going to hear much of the Betty Boop type of
Yeah.
voice. Maybe like I think I'm Going Bananas is one of them. I think maybe that's an
Yeah,
exception.
that's the truly last one, but it is an
Yeah.
exception for sure.
Yeah, and I think that was so unserious. It was very stripped down. It was very much a song that I still resonate to this day. And I mean, I've seen her perform that song a couple, like, I mean, I know she's performed that for the Who's That Girl tour, then Bun Ambition, and then to Confessions, which I saw that,
Hmm.
and then last tour for Celebration, which was very beautifully done when she gave the dedication to people who were lost to the AIDS
Yeah.
crisis, and I think that was probably one of the more powerful moments of that show. And honestly, I think that's a song that really gets overlooked, and it was one of her, I think, number one hit songs. But I
Yeah.
think it's a very enduring song. It feels very timeless. I go back to it every time I hear that song in my playlist. Like I feel like I have to be in silence to listen to that
Yes.
song. Mhm.
It's so meditative. It's so powerful. Again, I totally agree with everything you've said. If I really had to make this choice, I would say this is her best song in her entire catalog. I think this
Mm-hmm.
song, I mean, I know that Like a Prayer tends to get that kind of recognition, and it also deserves it too. It's very up there.
Hmm.
But there is something about Live to Tell that is just this is her most soulful, most
Hmm.
beautiful, that emotional depth that you're describing. I mean, it's there in a lot of her work, but I feel like it's here on a totally different level.
Hmm.
And even though it was a really big hit, like it was number one, I do feel like it's one that the general public is a little bit less familiar with.
Hmm.
But I think that this song is an absolute masterpiece. Like
Hmm.
I on New Year's Eve, I went on like a little mushroom trip and I put
Hmm.
this on the playlist for like the end of the journey. And like hearing music on mushrooms is like such a different experience. It really allows you to sort of like live inside the song. Like I can't even
Hmm.
fully explain it, but it's like it just everything sort of hits on a different level. And when this came on and I listened to it in that context, it truly it astounded me, And even though I've heard the song a million times, like that night, like I just heard it in such a different way. And like, I mean, this is gonna sound a little shady, but I'm like, how can someone who's so fucking evil make something so beautiful?
Wow. Yeah. And
Because this
like
song is exceptionally beautiful. Like
it is. Mhm.
it is spiritual.
It's
Like you said,
vulnerable too,
if it
truly
comes on, like
vulnerable.
you have to take that time in
Hmm.
silence to
Hmm.
live in it for the time that it's playing. Like It's, yeah, I don't even have the words to fully express just how deep and beautiful and moving and powerful the song is. And, the lyrics are so powerful and beautiful as well, but
Hmm.
they're also vague in a way that this song can take on so many different
Hmm.
meanings.
It could be, yeah, because I mean, it could be like if you dealt with child abuse, if you dealt with domestic violence. I mean, I think that those songs like resonate on a level of trauma that it kind of that it really seems to hint towards, you know. I know she
Yes.
was also married to Sean Penn, so it's not ironic too. Um, but I also think about how that song really changed the way she saw her career moving forward. Like, I also wanted to be a serious artist. I want to
Yeah.
be a person that's not a flash in the pan. I don't want to be like a Cyndi Lauper. And that's no shade to Cyndi Lauper. I think she's brilliant.
Yes.
But I feel like she was really trying to like take on a whole new direction, a whole
Yeah.
chameleon-like presence. Like, yeah, I'm more than just a boy toy. Now I'm actually a
Absolutely.
balladeer, you know.
Yes, exactly. And like I have a good friend of mine who's also a diehard Madonna fan, and sometimes we give each other these sort of like ridiculous challenges
Mhm.
where either it's like choose a song that is, that if you can only listen to one more Madonna song for the rest of your life, what would
Mhm.
it be? Like we love to ask each other these
Mm,
kinds of questions. And one time I remember asking him, it's like, okay, like for the rest of your life, you can only listen to the Madonna ballads or the Madonna dance songs. And I
yeah,
still choose the ballads. I think
I do
she is
too.
an incredible balladeer.
I agree. And like, you know, actually the first Madonna album I got was the Something to Remember, which is the ballads
That was
collection.
one of my early albums that I got as well, and
Mm,
I'm still obsessed with that album. And even though
great
it's a
album.
compilation, it really plays like a studio album. It's so well put
Hmm.
together. And even
Yeah.
just the cover art of Something to Remember is just so beautiful. Like
Mm,
I could
I
just
love
stare at
it.
that picture of her for hours.
Oh, I love it.
And
That's iconic. Underratedly iconic.
yeah, also a little like random side note. I recorded an album a few years ago.
Mm,
A version of the album is on streaming, but because I did some cover songs and so some of them are like if you mash things up together, it's like really hard to get the rights. Whereas like if it's just a straightforward cover, now it's really easy with like all the different like
hmm.
distribution services. But basically, like I did a cover of Live to Tell and I mixed it with Frozen. And it's really interesting how those two songs are
Yes.
so similar. They actually
Mhm.
really blend together. And obviously, Frozen was also co-written with Patrick Leonard, who also co-wrote this with
Right.
Madonna. So like there's also a parallel with Frozen. And
Mm,
I would also say like the last thing that I'll say about Live to Tell is just that like and this applies to so much of Madonna's catalog in general, like so many to this day. And the same thing happens with Mariah Carey, but I think it happens even more with Madonna, is that people really do not understand how unbelievably talented she is as a songwriter. And when you
mm-hmm.
go back and you look at the credits of these songs, including Live to Tell, it's
Hmm.
literally just her and one other person who wrote it, you know?
Yes.
It's like she really wrote these things. These are not just, she didn't just slap her name on the song. Like she wrote these songs and I think it's
Hmm.
super impressive and I don't think she'll ever get the credit she deserves
No.
for being the songwriter that she is.
And the New York Times didn't give her that credit, but not that
No,
I care about the New York Times for a number of
no,
reasons.
one number of reasons exactly. But Madonna, I will die on that hill.
Oh,
Madonna
sure.
is an amazing songwriter.
Absolutely. I mean, and also she knows how to make the most vapid, shallow songs really work. I mean, she makes the greatest melodies. Like Into the Groove, like
Yes.
when she had to throw out the word live out your fantasy here with me, I'm like, okay, this is such a great bridge. And I'm just like,
It
yes.
is. And like even though like Into the Groove and other songs like might on the surface seem more disposable, they're not.
No,
Like
they're
they
not.
really contain a power and a magic.
They sure do. And which brings me to the next song, Angel from the Like a Virgin album. Now this was like the A side and the B side was Into the Groove, which it's kind of unbelievable how that was marketed because Into the Groove was seen as a B side single. And I'm like, how is that possible with that kind of um genre changing hit that was like the soundtrack of the 80s. And but Angel, I feel like gets underlooked quite a bit
Hmm.
because of Into the Groove. And I mean, it's one of my favorite Madonna early Madonna songs. It's there's no music video for that one. I don't think she's ever played it live except maybe the Virgin tour. And I feel like that song has been kind of like disposed of over the
Yeah.
years, but yet it is a really good song and just kind of gives you like the innocence, like the very cheery
Hmm.
Madonna vibes that really attracted the young girls, you know. It's like it's a very joyful and innocent
Yeah.
song that's very much like I'm sure was back then a staple in high school dances. I'm
For sure.
yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yes.
Yeah, this is a great one. I don't know if it's one of my big, big favorites. I think I went through a phase with it, like when I was like a teenager, where I really was obsessed with this song. I feel like it's maybe now not one of the ones that I go back to a lot. I still have an appreciation for it, and I think it's really good. But I don't know if this one really grabs me in the way that all of the other songs we've spoken about thus far
Hmm.
have. But yeah, I do think that the highlight of the song is that innocence that you're describing. And that's just sort of like optimistic energy that you feel when you listen to it. And it's romantic in a really sweet
Hmm.
way. And Madonna, like, I mean, for as, evil as she can be sometimes, like that innocence and that romanticism is also a side of her
Hmm.
that exists, and she doesn't always express it or share it, but it's there.
Hmm.
And it shows up on songs like this.
Yeah, I agree. And then number five, I'll remember. This is 1994. Song was number two on the charts, prevented by All for One, I Swear, which is I get a kick out of that one. I'm pretty sure she was very happy to know that her song got blocked by All for One of all people. But this was part of the With Honors soundtrack, a very underappreciated ballad. She has never performed it live. Music video is very iconic, very futuristic. Um, it also came off the heels of the controversial Sex book and the erotica album. So I think her record label, and I think she knew that she needed to tone it down and work with the adult contemporary audience that felt betrayed um, by her. And I think that she was trying to like, do some public public PR
Hmm.
damage control with it. It's a very toned down, wholesome, and sentimental song, and it's only on the Something to Remember Ballads album. It's not on any other greatest hits album. So this song has really been swept aside
Yeah.
for years, and it reached number two back then. And yeah, I think it's one of those songs that has really been discarded.
Yeah, it really has been discarded. It almost doesn't feel like a Madonna song, even though it is. But I would also say that it's maybe her most like adult contemporary.
Mhm.
But this is one of my ultimate favorites.
Mm.
I adore this song. I remember when I was in elementary school in the sixth grade, it was our elementary school graduation, and our teachers had selected us to sing Celine Dion and R. Kelly's duet, I'm Your Angel, as like our
Oh
graduation
no.
song. And I was infuriated. And I mean, I was literally just 12 years old, but I was so pissed off that they had chosen that Celine
Ugh.
song that I actually, like, I started a movement to have it changed. And
Wow.
I was successful, and I got them to change it to I'll Remember. So I'll Remember was our elementary school graduation song, and I sang it at the graduation ceremony with my graduating class as like my choir. So like I'll
Wow.
always have that little story attached to that song for me, but I just truly love this song.
God, I would.
And it is
Mhm.
criminal
It
that she
is
was not nominated for
an
Best
Oscar.
Oscar, Best Song,
Yes.
because this, I mean, we have seen things be nominated and win that are so
Hmm.
undeserving. This song is incredible.
Hmm.
And I don't know, I guess it's a song that she doesn't really think about or really care about that much. But ironically, not only did it reach number two, It was one of her biggest hits. So there's this
Hmm.
amazing Instagram account called Hot Sheets.
Mm.
I don't know if you've ever seen them.
No.
So they do a lot of really great chart statistics using the Billboard charts. And they have this like point system in place so that it sort of like creates like a sort of like equal playing field for songs that have like come out, now versus songs that came out like 20 years ago. And they put together and they do all these amazing visuals on their Instagram account. So like if you're a chart nerd like I am, even though the
Mhm.
charts mean absolutely nothing
Yeah.
now, but there was a time where they did kind of mean something.
Hmm.
And anyway, he has a great list of Madonna's biggest hits, like based on a combination of like radio play, chart position, weeks on the chart, sales. This song is actually one of her statistically biggest hits
Mm.
ever in the United States.
Wow.
So it wasn't just number two, like it was surprisingly massive. It was a big airplay hit.
Hmm.
And even as a kid, like I loved the song before I even knew that it was Madonna, because I only really became a
Hmm.
Madonna fan when Evita came out when I was like 9 years old,
Hmm.
10 years old. So, I remember hearing the song on the radio, and again, it's one of my big favorites. I don't know if she'll ever dust it off, but
Hmm.
I mean, I don't want to be morbid, but I feel like this or Live to Tell is gonna be the one that like gets played a lot when she passes.
Yeah, I think I could see the remembrances coming
Knock
in
on
with that
wood, that
song.
will not happen before a long
No,
time.
yeah, hope that, yeah, let's kind of put that, let's kind of push that far, far
But
away
someone's
from.
gonna cover I'll Remember and do like an Elton John Candle in the Wind
Yeah,
moment.
because or like, yeah, because no one has covered "Live to Tell" or "I'll Remember." I'm like, wow, because people don't really cover Madonna songs like almost
No.
ever, because
But
her
speaking
songs are
of
very unique.
Angel, Darren Hayes from Savage Garden
Mm.
did a really good cover of Angel.
Oh yes, that is right. I haven't heard that in a while, but yes, you are right about that.
Yeah.
And also I'm like, where were you back then, like when you were trying to get when we needed I'll Remember to be number one and kick off for one off the charts, like get the radio
Well, but
stations
that's also her fault because she didn't do any performances of it. She
That's
didn't really
true.
promote it. And it's a testament to what a great song it is because it achieved that incredible chart success just off of it being so good. Like she didn't promote it. So like it's incredible that it was such a big hit with no promotion.
Mm. So next one would be Cherish from the Like a Prayer album. Now, like for the hardcore fans, even maybe casual fans, they would know this song, but like this is a song that has been forgotten over the years. I mean, back when it first came out, like you couldn't, not hear it for a while.
Hmm.
And this was the third single after Like a Prayer and Express Yourself. And it's like when I think of Cherish, it felt like this song really belonged to True Blue because True Blue
Hmm.
was in that same vibe. She was in this very happy place with Sean Penn, and the Like a Prayer album was kind of like the divorce album. It was a very
Yeah.
serious album, and Cherish seemed to be like this, like a bigger contrast to all the other songs on there, and so it felt out of place, but it's such a magical song. The late Ritz directed that video. Ritz is a famous photographer, very iconic. I mean, the video is black and white. She's on the beach. There's like mermaids. It's incredibly joyous. Um, I mean, who could ever forget the lyric of Romeo and Juliet never felt this way, I bet, which is like a Beach Boys kind of a verse. And
Hmm.
song hit number two. She never had performed it live after the Bond Admission tour, and she has stated that she never really liked that song, and I
Okay.
can see why, because she's not into the. I think she gets very embarrassed when she has to sing songs like Into the Groove or Lucky Star or Cherish because
Yeah.
she feels like it's so beneath her. But Cherish is such a great song, and I think that people really sleep on it.
Yeah, I think it has a lot in common with the things that you were saying about Angel, about that sort of innocence, that energy, that romanticism, that positivity. Like this is a song to listen on like a bright sunny day as you're
Mm-hmm.
skipping along the sidewalk. Like this song will make you feel good. This song will lift
Mm-hmm.
you up. And I think like between Cherish and Angel, like I would go with Cherish. I really love Cherish a lot too. And for me, it's really all about the music video. Like the music video captures that joy, and she just looks so beautiful, but like in the most like effortless and just sort of pure way. Like I don't know, she's just radiating in that music video.
Hmm.
Like it's not even just about like the beauty of her face, it's just like the beauty of her soul coming out in that music video.
In a way, also liberating too, because she got out of a very stormy relationship with Sean. And,
Hmm.
I know that it's been said that that was like the love of her life, but also I think that she felt in some ways liberated from that relationship. So I think in some ways that song also made sense.
Yeah.
Even though it felt like it was like a love song to Sean at that time. But,
And maybe it's
yeah,
still, maybe it was,
still
because even
is.
though
Yeah.
things were dark and stormy, like, I mean, obviously in the Truth or Dare
Mm-hmm.
documentary, she says that Sean is the love of her life. And
Mm-hmm.
so, maybe when she wrote Cherish, I mean, I don't know when she wrote it. Maybe she wrote it during the True Blue sessions. I don't know. But
Mm-hmm.
if she wrote it during the Like a Prayer sessions, like maybe she was just like reliving what she felt when they first met, and sort of
Mm-hmm.
just making peace with that.
Yeah, so ready for the next one. Who's That Girl? Now, it's another number one hit song, and it was also for the movie Who's That Girl, which originally was titled Slammer, but Madonna insisted that the title should be Who's That Girl because I think she was really in love with that title and smart move because it was a tagline that would, follow her over the years. And also, song was very successful. Tour itself was a massive success, and it also kind of like continued on with her Latin infatuation. I mean, she
Hmm.
before that had La Isla Bonita, and so Who's That Girl is like the sister, like the sibling of that song too. So it's like another like extended version of La Isla Bonita, but just another again a beautifully well done song. Another song that you can like Cherish, like Angel, like you can go around and just skip around, be at the
Yeah.
beach. It's like it's and start singing the chorus, even if you don't know Spanish very well. So yeah.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I do really enjoy this song. I don't know if it's one of my big favorites, but I really do enjoy it a lot. I enjoyed the four songs from that soundtrack, and it's interesting because it's like the three main songs from that soundtrack are all sister tracks. It's like you said, like Who's That Girl is basically the sister track of La Isla Bonita. Causing a Commotion is the sister
Hmm.
track of Into the Groove. The Look
Hmm.
of Love is the sister track to Live to Tell. So
Hmm.
like in a way, like, the music done for Who's That Girl like doesn't feel necessarily like as inspired. It feels like a little bit more repetitive of what she had
Hmm.
done on the True Blue album,
Hmm.
but it's still super enjoyable. But it is a bit strange that like a song that reached number one,
Hmm.
and like you said, was the name of the movie, was the name of this giant tour, like, and she left it off of the Immaculate Collection, like,
Yeah.
so, and I think that the Immaculate Collection is sort of like, I mean, obviously, brilliant compilation album, one of the
Hmm.
most important and
Hmm.
successful greatest hits album. But it's like,
Hmm.
it almost became like a time capsule in the sense that, like, all the songs that she chose to put on there have remained classics for the most part. But,
Hmm.
like, the big hits that she left off, like Who's That Girl, like
Hmm.
Angel, like Dress You Up, like, they all
Hmm.
got forgotten. But I
Yeah.
think if they had been on the Immaculate Collection, they might not have been forgotten in that way.
Yeah, and you got a really good point there. And I think that kind of speaks to also the fact that there are songs that she tends to not perform that have been big hits
But
as we
she sang
alluded
them
to.
on, she sang Who's
She
That
did
Girl
Who's
on
That
the
Girl?
first leg of the Rebel Heart tour.
Yes, she did. I was there for
And
that one.
yeah, luckily she did it at the show that I went to,
Yes.
and it was a highlight. It
It
was amazing,
was.
especially because she did it like kind of acoustic style.
Yes.
So, and I feel like doing it acoustic style made it like maybe like a little bit less sort of childish in a way, because the
Hmm.
song has a very young
Hmm.
energy. Like kids would love this song.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that she um got I mean, I think there's something so exciting when you have diehard fans when they start hearing the first note and they're like, "Oh my gosh, that's
Yes.
Who's That Girl?" Like this is a song that I haven't heard in a long
It
time.
was so exciting, especially because I actually went, so I went to the Montreal show of the Rebel
Hmm.
Heart Tour, and that was the opening night of the tour.
Oh wow.
So no one knew what she was gonna sing. So like when she started
Mm,
doing Who's That Girl, we were floored. Like we
wow.
couldn't believe it.
Yeah. So let's go to number two. So Burning Up. This came from the first album, and it was one of the early songs that she solely wrote. She was like the sole songwriter of that song, and this was obviously early in her career, and this was sent in as a demo. She recorded it with her boyfriend DJ Mark Kamens at the time, and this song kind of like really goes back to her punk rock gritty rock days. Like she was like with the Breakfast Club, she was playing the drums and the guitar, and so she was kind of going more with the blonde, kind of like what Blondie, the Pretenders. She was trying to
Hmm
go in that route, and Burning Up is such a powerful song. The guitar riff and the 80s sound to it, and the declaration, the power of her lyrics in that song. It's like it was it was so respected to the point where Iggy Pop would cover that at her Hall of Fame. And, I've seen her perform it a few times. I saw her perform it at the Reinvention Tour.
hmm
She would bring it back for Rebel Heart, and then she brought it back again for Celebration. So I think this is a song that I think she secretly enjoys, like low
I think
key
she loves
enjoys,
this song. I
because
think
it's
this
such a
song makes
powerful.
her feel like a badass.
It is, and I love it when she brings her guitar out, and just really gets in command. And I'm here for it. I mean, the video, it's like I think she nearly died on that video because the
Oh,
crane like
fun
fell out.
fact about
Yeah.
the video. I don't know if you know this. I only recently found out about this. The director of the Burning Up music video directed the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie
Oh, get
in
out of here!
1990. Yeah.
I love that movie. So that movie had a chokehold on me as a kid. So,
Yeah, well, he also
wow.
directed the Burning Up video.
Wow. Well, there's a reason why I love that song.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but this is a song that didn't chart, didn't make any top 100, which is a failure of her record company because that song is such a classic. But it is an enduring hit for her hardcore fans. Her hardcore
Yes.
fans will eat it up. But like if I have to tell like a stranger that doesn't really know Madonna, I'm like, look, you gotta listen to Burning Up. That song is so badass, and I think people need to know it. So it's one of those songs that if I had to give like a Madonna 101, I'd be like, yeah,
Right.
this song will always get included. And then last but not least, I decided to put This Used to Be My Playground, another ballad. This came from A League of Their Own soundtrack, which she performed beautifully in that. I love that movie so much, especially that dance scene. But like I think of that song, and at that time, I don't think I was a big fan of it growing up because I just felt it was way too melancholy for my
hmm
taste. But I think as I've gotten older and like I've had to experience losses around my circle,
hmm
that song comes to mind
Yeah.
because I'm in this nostalgic place. Like I would go to a shopping mall and I used to like be like, oh wow, this used to be where Sears was. This used to be where
hmm
um, Carson Pierce Scott was. And it's like, so I get into this nostalgia every time I hear the song. And it was her number one song. And she had never performed it live until she broke out of it at the Celebration tour when she was in Chicago for the second night. I was there for the first night.
Oh
So
no, you missed it by one
I
night.
was angry. I was so angry. Like how, but the reason why she chose that song is because that's where League of Their Own was filmed.
Exactly.
So it's like, yeah, I was very angry because I really wanted to hear her play that song. And I felt like she missed the opportunity to play it during the MDNA tour when she did the Like a Virgin, the as a ballad. I felt like
hmm
that should have been replaced by This Used to Be My Playground. My opinion, but
That
I
could
feel
have
like
been,
that would have
yeah,
worked. That would have
that could
worked.
be interesting for sure. This
That
is
would have
also a
worked.
song that is like, it's insane that this was not nominated for Best Song at the
No.
Oscars. I guess like the Academy just really didn't like her, because
No,
when it's
they
something that
didn't.
I think about literally every Oscar
Hmm.
season is that like Madonna has done some incredible soundtrack work. It's like we talked, and we have three of them on this list. Live to
Hmm.
Tell, I'll Remember, This Used to Be My Playground, then there's also Crazy for You, there's
Yes.
Beautiful Stranger,
Where's the
like the
Grammys for that? Where's the Grammys for
like
that
come
one
on. But
too?
I think the Oscar, like she
Oscar,
deserve
yes.
like all five of those songs should have been nominated, and at
Uh-huh.
least one of them should have won. Like, I think she's among the pop artists who has done like the best soundtrack work.
She has. I mean, you look at Dick Tracy,
Yeah.
you look at Avita, you look at what was that? God, I'm trying to remember. They had some masterpiece. That was it won a Golden Globe, but unfortunately the timing, the way
Yeah.
she
I
was
mean, I don't think
yeah.
Masterpiece is on the same level as like
No.
these five songs, but still, like, come on. It doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Billie Eilish has two Oscars for songs, and like Madonna doesn't
No.
even have a nomination. Like,
And
it's criminal that this
and
song, especially because League of Their Own was such a big movie. It was such a success. It was critically well
mhm.
received. Yeah, and I love the video for this song. Like when she's going through
Yeah.
the photo album and it sort of like, has these video images in the photo album and she just looks so gorgeous.
Yeah, and it just kind of makes me angry that she doesn't get Grammys for these songs because I'm like at
No,
least yeah,
I
because
mean, I know
yeah.
Mariah Carey complained about not getting Grammys, but at least she got nominated. Madonna didn't even get nominated, which
No.
makes no sense.
Janet barely gets any
Crazy.
nominations
Like
too. I'm
imagine
like,
Like a Prayer, the album, not getting a single Grammy nomination. Like, yeah, like how does that
hmm
make any sense?
True Blue. I'm like, where's that?
All
I
of it, the
mean,
entire catalog, honestly, it
conf
doesn't make
yeah,
sense.
I'm perplexed. I mean, so that kind of like wraps up on the top 10. So yeah, I mean, quick special mention. I'm gonna make this like a quick lightning round, get a reaction. Something to Remember, Dick Tracy, produced by Stephen Sondheim, the late Stephen Sondheim, and one of my favorite ballads, just
Hmm.
incredible. Um, Swim, Ray of Light. This was done when Gianni Versace was murdered, and she recorded that song and came from the Ray of Light album. Just a genuinely
I love
moving,
that song.
yeah, great song. Impressive Instant, which came from the music album. I mean, it was way ahead of its time. It's club, techno, industrial. I mean,
It's crazy. I think
yeah.
this is the craziest song in her catalog, and I love it.
Drown World. It's a hardcore fan classic. I
Oh no,
mean,
this is truly, that's in my top five
mhm.
of all time for sure.
Beautifully written and very much biographical in a way to kind of set off the Ray of Light album. Paradise Now for me, I would say that I love that song performed live at Confessions.
It's the best. That's the best It's incredible.
Beautiful, Easy Ride from American Life, another great song. Should have performed that at Madame X, teased that one, and she didn't perform it, and I'm
Yeah.
kind of like annoyed by that still. Um, I think it's Bella Ciao, but I think it's titled Ciao Bella from Madame X. I really like the song a lot. I mean, I didn't care for Madame X as an album, but that was a good
Hmm.
throwaway hit that she threw in there. And I'm like, yeah, perfect. That kind of made it better. Beautiful Killer from the MDNA album. That she should have performed for an MDNA tour instead of that damn
Yes.
Revolver song, which
Yes, I could not agree more.
could have done it. Rain from Erotica.
Rain
Great video.
is Rain was a really big hit in Canada. So like I used to
Yeah.
hear it a lot when I was a kid. I don't feel like it was as big in other territories. And I do feel like it is
The
generally
sex book.
forgotten.
The sex
But
book kind of ruined it at that
I
time,
think
yeah.
Rain on I mean if you ask me today, I would maybe say Rain is my number one favorite Madonna song.
Mm,
And the video, I just love it. And I remember on the Celebration tour like
hmm
she was in Toronto before Montreal, and Toronto is where she dropped Rain and put in Frozen for the first time. Because then she would go on
mm.
to alternate it in different cities and even do Take a Bow. And I was panicking because Rain is my favorite, and
Oh
I
no.
I was so worried. And then
Oh
when it got to
no.
that part in the show and she did Rain, I just started crying.
Oof.
I was like, thank God.
Wow.
I
Wow. Yeah.
wanted Rain so
I
badly.
just wish she did the spoken word part of that song,
Yeah.
which that's the one thing
It
that
was
was
still
missing,
great
but still
though. It
great.
was like that was my favorite part of the celebration tour.
Yeah. And then Crave, the Tracy Young dance remix. I love that remix so much. It kind of reminds me of Holiday in that version.
Yeah.
It does, because I think that works because like the regular version doesn't do it for me. I think it sounds
Okay.
very, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes the remixes are better.
Yeah. So with that said, yeah, any closing thoughts and what do you hope to see from Madonna with this album? Like, what are you hoping for? Because I know the expectation is kind of like pretty low at the moment. Like
Yeah,
I'm very guarded. I'm actually like excited for the first time in a really long time.
good.
However, I'm also like very guarded because I'm like I like what I'm hearing so far.
Yeah.
It's like it's not like she's trying to hit, like hitch on the wagons of hip hop stars, and it's like okay, like I don't think it works in her lane. Like I don't like I love hip hop music, but I just don't
No.
think it works in
I
this
mean
lane
the
for her.
yeah. I'm not necessarily thrilled that she's like duetting with Sabrina because
Oh, really?
I don't feel like that's really coming from a place of like her thinking Sabrina is a great artist and wanting to work with her. Like
Mm,
I think that is sort of hitching to the bend. Like, kind of like
mm,
when she did the duet
mm,
with Britney, which was awful. It
mm,
is
mm,
giving me that, to be honest.
mm, mm.
But I know that the whole album is not going to be like that, you
No.
know? So like I'm still definitely excited for the album. I think it's going to be at the minimum really good, if
Yeah.
not great. You know,
And
like
it's also
I
Stuart
Stuart
Price.
Price
Yeah.
and Stuart did such an amazing job with the
Mm,
musical direction on the Celebration tour. So, you know, and Stuart is an amazing producer,
hmm
so that definitely gives me hope. And um
And
I
stick to
think
one
this is the key,
producer.
but this is the
Yes.
thing though, like I don't well, I mean, it's a whole other conversation, so I don't want to go too far into it, but like, you know, I think that Madonna is also a really ego-based person, and so like
hmm
regardless of how brilliant she is and how much she has accomplished, she still has this desperate need to be the center of the universe that she just
hmm
cannot seem to shake. And I
She's a
think that's
Leo.
why we're getting, yeah, and I think that's why we're getting like the Sabrina duet. But
hmm
the irony to me is just that like nothing sort of makes you look more irrelevant than like chasing a trend. And I
hmm
think Madonna's key to relevancy at this stage in her life, if it's still something that she wants, even though, because like she doesn't need that, you know?
hmm hmm
But to me, the key is just like you have to make music that is undeniably good and
hmm
interesting. That's the key to relevancy. Just make good music because, you know, when you look at Madonna's career from 1983 to 2005,
hmm
which to me is
hmm
like no other
hmm
artist has had a run like that,
hmm
but she would never have been the star that she was at that time had the work not been good. And that's the thing, despite all the controversies, despite her like obsession with fame, there was still the art and the art was there. And I feel like that's the problem with like the last 15 years is that it's
Yeah.
just been more of the fame thing than the actual art.
hmm
So ultimately, my hope is just that like, can we just get back to the art? And I think we are. It's
hmm
looking very promising.
It is, and I'm hoping that this is going to be a great summer. I'm looking forward to seeing what comes out of it. And also, I'm pretty sure because you've had a lot of controversial Madonna takes, so I'm pretty sure you've had a lot of because I know that Madonna fans have been very passionate. I know that they do get with you sometimes.
Oh,
I'm
they're
curious.
crazy.
They are because I know that when I did our last episode, they're like, "Well, you guys have always been haters of Madonna," and I'm like, "Wow, you really
What are you
haven't paying
talking
attention."
about?
I'm
Like,
like,
it's just so funny when they like claim, like one person, which is, I actually will take this as a compliment because I'm not
mhm.
that young anymore, unfortunately, but they think I look young. So they were like, they're like, you're too young to understand Madonna. And I'm like, thank you. You're right. I am too young to understand Madonna, which is just so funny because
Uh-huh.
I literally have every single Madonna album and
Yeah.
single on vinyl. I'm obsessed with her music. I'm obsessed with her art. I've gone to every single one of her concerts like multiple nights. Like I'm a Madonna scholar. You know
Yeah,
what
you
I
are.
am.
And you
Like,
have to be critical.
you have to be critical
Hmm
and it's okay to disagree. Like, and I think that's like even us having this conversation
Yeah.
today, like it's so fun, like as fans to just get together and talk about the things that we love and the things that we like less. Like, I'm not as big on Angel and Burning Up as you
hmm
are, but it's still
hmm
fun to talk about it and to
hmm
hear your perspective and to know why you like that song or why you don't like that song. And that doesn't take anything away from the
No,
things that I love or dislike if we have like a different opinion. It's just crazy to me that people get so worked up and it's
I
like
know.
And it's like, okay, if you're that passionate, great. Tell me what you love about it. You don't need to like resort to transphobia because I don't like the same song that you like. That's insanity.
Exactly. And I just
And
think
the
there's like,
irony is that like Madonna has always been, and they are always the first ones to say that like,
mm-hmm,
to talk about everything she's done for the LGBTQ community and what a
mm-hmm.
fighter she's been for our community. And then they turn around and say transphobic things. Like you guys don't even, you claim to be big fans, but you don't even understand what Madonna's been trying to teach you.
Exactly. And also like it's not I also think that people really need to get off the all or nothing mentality. I just
Oh my
feel like
God,
yeah, it's like
seriously.
when we talk about like with you know the Taylor Swift fans and the beehives, but I'm also like Madonna fans are no better. Like I have seen people come after me if I like said, well, I don't like the song. I just said I don't like the song. This could
I
be better,
know.
you know?
Yeah, and even if you like, and you're even allowed to hate a song. You know what I mean? It's a song. It's like you're not hating on the person, you're not
No.
diminishing who they are as a
You're
person, you're
not giving
not like
death threats, you know?
exactly. But no, I think this fandom, and it's not just Madonna, it's every single fan base. When I
Yes.
post a Mariah video, all the lambs are just as crazy,
Oh yeah,
trust
they
me.
are. Oh yeah, they
You
are.
know,
They are.
the Britney fans are crazy too,
Hmm.
and they're all crazy. Like this kind of blind devotion to a pop idol is a kind of mental
Hmm.
illness.
It's something that we have to like
There's something
become a
missing. There's
divest.
something going
Yeah.
on, and but yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't, it doesn't affect me personally. It's just more like on a sociological level. I just find it disturbing, but it doesn't like hurt my feelings. I'm just like, it's just fascinating to me.
Yeah. And before I let you get going, because I know you gotta get running here, but like thank you so much for this brief deep dive and anything that you would like to share about for the next like how the summer's gonna look like for you and in the projects that you're working on.
Well, actually, before I say that, just very quickly, I'm going to give a shout out to one deep cut that is one of my absolute favorites that we didn't
Mhm.
talk about, Gone from the music
Oh
album.
yes.
That is
Oh.
truly, that is in my top five. Like
Hmm.
Rain, Drown World, Gone,
Hmm.
those three, and Power of Goodbye. Those three, those
Mm,
four are
yes.
always
Yes.
in my
Hmm.
top five. And then number five is always variable. And
Hmm.
for the summer, like I'll be performing. I'm always performing, and I have a new podcast out called The Blank List,
Mm.
which I'm doing with two of my friends. And basically, every episode we give ourselves a category. So, for example, our first episode was most fuckable animated characters, and
Mm.
then we have a big debate, and we basically create the top five list of the category that we're talking about. And it's just really silly and it's really funny. And I think like in these really dark times, like I think this podcast will just give people a little levity and comedy. So yeah, that's like the main thing that I have going on right now.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. I hope that people get to check out your work at Tranna Wintour on Instagram and just follow the incredible content that you've been creating. Even if you don't agree, just you know, it's okay. It's all right.
And
You
it's not
know.
rage bait, by the way, because I only say what I believe. I'm not
Mhm.
saying things just to provoke. I'm just sharing my opinion because I'm a pop culture commentator,
Exactly.
Like, and it's stupid to be a pop culture commentator, and I know how stupid that is, but this is what I
Agree.
love to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, thank you so much for being on my show and have a great summer.
Thank you, you too. Always so fun to talk to you.